Good morning. Good morning to you. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Slowly trying to figure out ways to incorporate like reading and things that I do every day into like making a video, because if I only have like a scripted sort of video on this channel, I would only post every once and again. So I'm trying new things. I told you guys about this in my last video. I'm trying new things to see what I like, what sticks for me. But today I thought we could try Cameron's coffee. No. That doesn't feel right. Cameron's current reads and coffee. No, let's go back to the other way. Cameron's coffee and current reads. There we go, that's it. I thought we could try having these little informal updates, right? Like with my coffee, and then telling you guys about what I'm actively reading, what I've kind of wrapped up, and what I'm thinking about reading for that particular time period. So because I'm reading like 20 or 25 books a month, sometimes those little books that I read that I don't really care for get lost in the weeds, and I might misremember or forget things when I'm talking about them in another video or in a wrap up. So I was like, let's try to mitigate that and talk about them in a video. And again, this is low stakes for me. I just woke up, I made my coffee, and I can talk about the books, and we can do this sort of, you know, semi-frequently. So let's get started. So the first book that I actually just wrapped up this morning is Beautiful Broken Love by Shanora Williams. I gave this book 3.5 stars, rounded down to 3. And I gave it 2 chili peppers for just cuz. And I also think that this is a more emotional read, to like check trigger warnings. You know, there's grief of a spouse, all these different sort of aspects. Oh, there's like child and parental abuse. There's a lot of different things in this book, so just keep in mind of that before you read it. Even in my review, I said this book has its moments, but I don't think I'd read it again. So this story is about Davina. She is a widow, and then Deke, he is this successful NBA star. And I didn't even know this was a sports romance until I was in too deep on a plane, and I couldn't change my reads because I had so much faith in this read that I only downloaded that. Big mistake. He basically finds her attractive after having a meeting with her. So she runs this skincare company, and he was using her products. Boom. Okay, like let's reach out to him and see if he'll promote. So that's how they meet each other. And then he's like immediately smitten by her, and over the course of the story, he makes her fall in love with him, and he's like, I'm here for you, I'm committed, blah 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 blah. Why this book wasn't my favorite, I feel like there was so much build up with nowhere to go. Like, and sometimes the writing style was just weird and unbelievable. Like, one of Deke's more important or impactful lines, if you will, was like, oh, well, both of our names start with D, so we're meant to be. You don't have anything better than that? The thing, like, I'm realizing that the format you read these books really does impact your reading experience. So I did a mix of this book on Kindle and then Audible. So the narrators, they were doing a lot. And I think that negatively impacted the way I felt about the book. When I was reading, you could clearly see that there were areas where Shanora might want to expand on the series. Like, I think there was a very clear, blatant setup for this nanny single dad type moment, grumpy sunshine, something that we've seen before. So that was there, but I don't think I'd be returning to this book, this world, or maybe even this author. Okay, so that was the book that I just wrapped up. Now the book that I'm currently actively reading is Immortal Dark by Tigist Girma. I'm so sad that I am anticipating a 3-star read or below for this book. So this is a dark academia with black vampires. And when I first heard about it, right, I was like, obviously, like I saw somebody post this and I immediately bought it because I said, yeah. And then like, look at the book. This is quality. This is quality. I was excited. I said, yes, this is gonna be good. I started reading this book, not gonna lie, like 2 months ago, and I DNF'd it. I was very, very bored. I tried it again. I started a couple days ago and I said, let's give it another try. I don't know if another try is what it needed. I just don't know if it's for me, maybe. But a little bit about the book, at least from what I'm gathering, is Kidan is this magical student. Again, that's not a trope that we've not seen before. So another thing that comes up is her younger sister is getting into trouble. Again, a trope that we know, okay? So her younger sister has gotten into trouble and Kidan ends up in this magical university. Now, I'm kind of making up my own words. Some of this is not what they use in the book, but that's just because sometimes I read off vibes. There are different houses in each like sort of section, sort of like different factions, right? So Kidan's house, they have one vampire that's assigned to them because somehow through the lore and the magic, each house got all of these different vampires that were assigned to them, and you can only drink that family's blood. I don't know if that was like to cut down on the vampires spazzing out, crashing out, I don't know. But Kidan's family, they only have Susenyos, the vampire. And I need to look at some fan art because I need to understand what he's supposed to look like. But they only have Susenyos. And I'm thinking that he's the love interest, but I really don't know what's going on. And I'm 51% into the book. People keep saying, oh, it got better after chapter 28. I'm on chapter 34. I'm on chapter 34. How much longer do I gotta wait? I think I'm going to go ahead and finish it though, just because I started it before. Let's go ahead and finish it. Let's know how I really feel. And I could be surprised by the other 49% of the book. I'm hoping that's the case. And I come back and I eat my words and I tell you, oh my gosh, guys, this was a 5-star read. But right now, and that's all we'll say on that. Next book that I'm in the middle of is Primetime Romance by Kate Robb. And I am sad about this one, let me tell you. Okay, so I read This Spells Love by Kate Robb, honestly around this time last year. And I loved it. I thought it was perfect. Like magical realism done well. Time travel, alternate realities. It was beautiful. So obviously, when I saw that Kate was dropping a new book that also looked like there was some magical elements involved, I got excited. I'm not necessarily excited anymore. This is another book that I started reading. I think I got the e-arc and I started reading it. And I got about 51% in. And I was like, okay, this isn't for me. So I thought, okay, maybe give it another chance when the audiobook comes out. That's what I did. Now I'm listening to the audiobook. And it's still not what I feel like I want it to be spending time on the read, right? Like ultimately, if we're reading, we're putting somewhat focus into the book, into the read. So it should be good. It should be a good time. And I don't know that I'm having that. I think that I'm going to go ahead and let this book go today, actually. I don't really have any interest in seeing what's going on with the characters. And I think it's okay to know when you want to DNF a book. That's okay. And I think this is a book that's just going to be DNF for me. Okay, next book that I'm reading is The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Solcombe. If I get through this book, I think it will be a 3-star read, but this could also be another DNF if we're gonna be honest. This book is supposed to be this like mystery thriller about an African-American violinist, and his violin gets stolen, but they find out, well, I guess people already knew that his violin was very it had a lot of monetary value. It was passed down through family. He got it. A lot of people wanted it. They stole it. And I'm guessing that the book is about him getting it back, but still overcoming and being a good player. All these different things. I'm 31% into the book, and I just don't feel any connection to anything. Again, if we're going to be reading and putting in time to these reads, we should at least be having a little bit of fun. There should be something to say for it, and there's nothing for me to say for this book right now. I think the premise is interesting, and that's why I might keep reading. I'm interested to see what could happen, but I'm also not going to give this book more than 50% if it doesn't pick up. Okay, last but not least is Destructively Mine by Krista and Becca Ritchie, and this is book 2 in the Webs We Weave series. And so for a little context, the Ritchie twins are the people that brought us the lovely Addicted and Calloway Sisters series. More specifically, Connor Cobalt and Rose Cobalt. I think about them all the time. And I'm starting now to maybe wonder if I just maybe was going through something at the time when I was reading those books, because I like those books. But I don't know that Krista and Becca are writing the quality of books that I like to read. Now, let me explain why. First off, the plot is very similar. It's very Addicted to You, Calloway Sisters, with a little con artist twist. So I'm starting to think, for one, that they have a pattern, but two, this book, again, I'm only 32% in, so it's still early. I'm skimming. It feels like it's dragging. So Rocky and Phoebe are the main characters, and in the first book there was sort of this big secret that Phoebe was keeping. I also hate that sort of trope when there's this secret, but the secret is probably something that you could have shared with no repercussions. Anyway. She has this big secret. That's the whole premise of the first book, is understanding Phoebe's secret that she tells to Rocky, and he's kind of like, okay, so what did we just do for the past 300 pages? But at the end of the book, they are finding out that everything they kind of believed about their childhood is not true. Okay, interesting enough cliffhanger or a plot twist to maybe make me want to read the other book, combined with the fact that I love one series. This series should be just as good too, right? Wrong. So I'm reading Destructively Mine, and already it feels yucky. Like there wasn't a lot of spice in the first book, but now this book, it just feels like it's in a completely different genre. And I'm like, why are they always trying to fornicate? It doesn't fit. It didn't fit the first book. It feels like I'm reading two completely different characters, like a completely different book. I talked about like the plot being similar, this being the Addicted and Calloway Sisters series, but with a leverage twist, with a plot twist, with cons. It's still about 6-ish main characters, like a core 6, like we saw in Addicted. I don't know. They're, to me, like Phoebe and Rocky are Lily and Lauren but illegally. That's like, there's no, and the more I think about it, the more that I think that is true. And that's very, 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 very unfortunate. I think this is one that I probably will finish, just to know that I finished. Now the question will be, when I do finish, am I gonna read book 3? I think I've kind of seen a few spoilers and know what to expect. Maybe along the way I'll be interested to see how those things unfold. But so far it's not looking too hot. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this Coffee and Current Reads video, and I also hope that my current reads get better, because I'm not live laugh loving right now at all. Like, I'm tempted to wipe the slate clean and just start over with brand new reads. Hope you liked the video, and send me well wishes again that these books get better. I can't keep reading trash. So send me all the good vibes, send me well wishes, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, follow my socials down below so you can also keep up with what I'm reading and how it's going. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, keep reading.